My name is Masyu Putra Pradana, student number 066. Today I will explain a little bit about multidimensional semiotic system. So the point of departure of Halliday's work in linguistics has been the simple question of how does language work. Across his career, he has probed the nature of language as a social semiotic system, which is as a resource for meaning across the many and constantly changing contexts of human interaction. His theory and descriptions are based on these principles, on the basis that they are required to explain the complexity of human language. For example, paradigmatic dimension, stratification dimension, metafunctional dimension, and etc. And then the next is paradigmatic dimension. In the paradigmatic dimension, each word we choose in the sentence comes from a vast set of possible words. If we begin a sentence like the lizard crawled over the blah blah blah, what comes next is chosen from the set of possible words taken from the paradigmatic dimension. Paradigmatic relationship of words or word forms means they are of the same formal kind and can replace one another with a change of meaning. The importance of paradigmatic relationship and paradigmatic analysis includes contrasting and comparing each of the meanings present in each text in which similar circumstance will be chosen. This helps to define value in the text. The importance of relationship of paradigmatic oppositions is to help generate in order to dynamic complexity of experience in the past. People have believed in a binary opposition since at least classical times. For example, an interesting book and then a boring book. Interesting and boring are members of paradigmatic of antonyms like verbs do and undo, start and finish. Then synonyms can replace one another like a big fish or an enormous fish. Another example, the cow jumped over the moon. It's like syntagmatic together from one meaning, but you could replace cow with another word in paradigmatic to form a different sentence with a different meaning, such as the fish jumped over the moon. And then the next is stratification dimension. Stratification dimension is the evolution of language from primary to higher order semiotic, like a space was created in which meanings could be organized in their own terms as a purely abstract network of interrelation between the content of form pairing of simple semiotic system emerged the organizational space referred to as lexicogrammar. This development put language on the road to becoming an apparently infinite meaning-making system. For example, some verbs can be used with a direct object like I made some oven mittens, or with a direct object and an indirect object like the government is given them a rise. Others need no object at all like the colonel laughed. And then the fourth is metafunctional dimension. Metafunctional dimension is language displays. It's like a functional complementary. In other words, it has evolved under the human need to make meanings about the world around and inside us. At the same time that it is the means of creating, maintaining our interpersonal relations. These motifs are two modes of meaning out in discourse. What Halliday terms in it is the additional and the interpersonal metafunction. They are organized via a third mode of meaning, the textual metafunction, which acts on the other two modes to create a coherent flow of discourse. For example, a sentence like Josh can speak English. Josh as a subject, and then can as a finite verb, and then speak as predictor, and then English as complement. Josh and can is a mode, and then speak and English is residue. And then the next example is Josh can speak English, can't he? Josh as a subject, and then can as a finite verb, and then speak as a predictor, and then English as a complement, and then can't is a finite verb, and then he as a subject. Josh and can is a mode, and then speak and English is residue, and then can't and he is mutate. Then another example is you didn't read my blogspot. So you as a subject, and then didn't is as a finite verb, and then read is a predictor, and then my blogspot as a complement. You and didn't is a mode, and then read and my blogspot is residue. And then the fifth is syntagmatic dimension. In semiotic literary criticism, a syntagmatic is a building block of a text into which meaning is encoded by the writer and decoded by the reader, recalling past experience and placing the message in its appropriate cultural context. Individual syntagmatics can be arranged together to form more complex syntagmatic groups of sounds, form words, groups of words, form sentences, form a narrative, and so on. A list of syntagmatic of the same type is called a paradigmatic. So in English, the alphabet is the paradigm from which the syntagmatic of words are formed. The set of words collected together in a lexicon becomes the paradigm from which sentences are formed. Hence, paradigmatic analysis is a method for exploring a syntagmatic by identifying its constituent paradigm, studying the individual paradigmatic elements, and then reconstructing the process by which the syntagmatic takes on meaning. Syntagmatic dimension language unfolds syntagmatically as structure laid down in the time or space. This structure involves units on different ranks within each stratum of the language system within the lexicogrammar. For example, the largest is the clause, and the smallest is the marks. Intermediate between these ranks are the ranks of group or phrase and of word. Syntagmatic relationship is seen in word combination. A syntagmatic relationship involves a sequence of signs that together create meaning. A paradigmatic relationship involves signs that can replace each other, usually changing the meaning with the substitution. The words in a sentence are syntagmatic, and together they form a syntagmatic relationship that creates meaning. If you change the word of syntagmatic in a sentence, it can change the meaning significantly. For example, John ate an octopus, and then an octopus ate John. Two sentences using the exact same words is syntagmatic, but very different meaning because the order and the syntagmatic relationship of words change. And then the last is institutional instantiation dimension. Instantiation dimension is all of these resources in turn predicted on the vector of instantiation, defined as the relation between an instance and the system that lies behind it. Instantiation is a formal relationship between potential and actual. Systematic functional theory assumes a very intimate relationship of conditional feedback between instance and system. Thus, using the system might change the system. So I think that's all for me. Thank you.